What up, my great peoples? Welcome to another episode of the Convicted to Grow podcast. I'm your girl, Coach Tressa, motivational speaker, confidence and business strategy coach. And you know how we do. Convicted to Grow is a podcast. It's a community. It's all things that has to relate it to growth, building confidence, resilience, whether it's in life, career, and business. And y'all, sometimes I give y'all all of me, but sometimes I bring back guests or bring in new guests. In this series, like I told y'all last week, we're doing what you call a next chapter conversation. Started this podcast 18 months ago. Matter of fact, February 24 is when I actually started. And since then, I've had some amazing guests, but I decided for my summer series, I wanted to have an encore edition to bring back some, not everybody, but some that I saw visually on the social media streets that have been doing a daggone thing. Like, I mean, transformation, new opportunities, calling, purpose, new projects, books, whatever you call it. So I'm super excited because I asked God, send the right people, and He showed me a good six. And so yeah, but this next guest, y'all, he was the first in my Soldier Boy voice, right? He was the first. He was the first guest that said yes to the podcast, like my first. Matter of fact, if you go to episode 3 of Convicted to Grow podcast, it was titled From Setbacks to Success. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a friend, he's an advocate for men, especially their spiritual walk, mental health, fitness. He's a great speaker. I just found, we'll get more into it, but he's a minister. I just found this out. Hey, and I will tell you this, if you want to know more about him, his background, you got to go to episode 3 and go back and watch that one, right? But today we're going to talk about what have you been doing in these last 18 months, the success, any transition, milestones, and we're going to have rapid fire conversation for him to share and give you guys some motivational word, especially for those who are in their rebuilding setback season. So y'all help me welcome none other than my friend, my brother, Carlton Young, aka Steve Y.
What's up? What's up, family? How you doing today? Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here once again. I've
Yes.
been watching you do your thing in these streets, building your brand, building your platform, being intentional about who you're becoming. So I was on board the minute you said, "Can you?" You know
I
what I'm saying?
know. I know.
It's just collaboration in every sense of the word. And I actually posted this yesterday on my Facebook page. I just love seeing people win. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to know them, but if I see you winning, I'm happy, right? Because I know if you winning, at some point, if I do what I need to do, I'm gonna win. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about your wins. I am grateful to see you winning, and grateful to be on your podcast as a guest because you don't have to have me on your platform. So thank you.
No, no, I said thank you because a lot of times when you start out a podcast, some people, won't say yes because you just start now and you saw the vision and to see here we are 18 months, almost 18 months later. And I always say growth is a daily thing. I know you are the CEO and visionary of Mindset You. Uh, Mindset You. I like that
Yes.
that logo too. Whoever did your logo, tell them great job. That's different. It's different.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah, I gave her the vision, and she did it.
yes, I love it. But just to have you come back, I'm super proud of you. I want to give you your flowers, and I know we're gonna go into details, but just to see you stay consistent. And of course, we met at the conference 2 years ago, the Next Level Speakers Conference. But just to see your consistency, your continue to be the advocate for God, like you don't switch up. One thing for certain, two things for sure, Carlton ain't switching up. Like
10
his
toes
message
down.
that part, he ain't switching up. And I knew even when I birthed this podcast, it was nothing but God in the mix. It was nothing but God in the mix. And it's crazy because every guest I've had, pretty much 90% of my guests, God gets brought up somehow, some way in the mix. And so thank you for staying consistent and really truly just being your authentic self for real. So just kind of give to people, since it's a casual conversation, like what has this past season looked like for you? Give us some wins, give us some anything you had to shift and pivot? I mean, because you've had some great things happening. And I've made a list, but I'm gonna see if you cover them all.
Yeah. One is, like you said, being consistent with who God has called me to be and where I'm going. I think the problem that we often encounter is we see the destination and we start, but we don't understand that the middle ground is the tilling, right? That's the uprooting. That's the seed being planted. So that middle ground is actually where you become the seed that's planted, and God begins to water you and prepare you for the harvest. But we don't want the heart. We want to skip the germination process, the seeding process, and go straight to the harvest. And it just doesn't work like that. So what you see me is understanding that there's a process. And I say this all the time. You actually have to be what you want to become. So
Mm.
you have to be that person that can command whatever it is that you want to do, $25,000 keynotes or masterminds, right? That are packed out. You actually have to be that person before you get it. So everything is based in a spiritual realm, and then you do the work to actually pull it down. And so when we think like that, we start
Yeah.
to understand that what we're dealing with is part of the process. And you have to understand that true faith is understanding that God is using the storms to water your harvest.
Oh my gosh, that's so powerful.
And
Okay.
so we don't want the storm to water the harvest, but if we don't and we stay in the desert, that seed can't grow and blossom. And then we abort the mission halfway through the process and we're upset. So what I've been doing is just every day I've been showing up, right? I've been intentional, right? If you look at the side of this hat, it has Genesis 1 and 28 on it.
Okay.
So that is the what mindset you is based on. And so that's where God tells Adam to be fruitful, to multiply, to subdue, and have dominion. So that is the four things I do intentionally every day is to be fruitful with whatever God has given me, to multiply it. I subdue myself, like I let his spirit give me self-control so that I can show up and become the person that he wants me to be, right? So that laziness, right? That I don't want to do it because I don't feel like it. Like I subdue that thought in my head and say, if I want to become the person that I see God is envisioning, showing me I can be, I got to do it. And then the dominion is leadership. I got to lead, right? Before I can lead anybody else, I got to be able to lead myself, lead my household, be intentional. So I've been, intentional about doing those things each and every day, right? One of the first things I was just telling somebody this other day, one of the first things I tell myself I ask God when I get up, I thank him for waking me up. And then I ask him to get in my head before I get in my head.
Ooh, that's
So allow his spirit to control me and take over before I let what I see, what's going on, how I feel take control. So it's just that, right? Growing in that space, being intentional, growing deeper in my relationship with Christ, not only talking to him, but be shutting up and listening. I think sometimes we get so caught up in telling God what we want that he can't give us a response back because we're over talking him. So I've learned in this season to just meditate and be quiet. Sometimes he doesn't tell me nothing, but I get up, I feel better, right? Or I might have some sense of direction. I've been doing that, right? And I've just been intentional about becoming the person I want to be. So I have this framework that I share with people right now. It's called AIM. So typically, if you don't know what you're firing at, you don't know what you're shooting at, you don't know what your target is, you can't hit it. So when I was in the military, when they gave us our weapons, we would go to the range and we would fire off a series of shots to see how the weapon is the sight is. And then from there we would adjust the sight and retest until we were able to hit our target center mass. So aim means I'm going to acknowledge where I'm going. I'm going to accept what I need to change or accept who I need to become. Then I'm going to get into action. Once I get into action, I'm going to implement that, right? I'm going to implement that action very intentionally, each and every day, showing up as that person, no matter how I feel. And then after I show up intentionally and implement all those things, I start to measure my methods and seeing if what I'm doing is hitting. If I'm hitting center mass or if I'm offside and I need to adjust again. And so that's what I want, I'm doing each and every day is I'm taking these frameworks that God has given me, this intellectual property, and I'm applying it to my life. Like he's like, you're the litmus test of this information I'm giving you, and you're going to be the person. Not only are you the curator, you're the test dummy, right? You're the test subject.
Mm.
And so if you follow these instructions that I'm giving you, now I can go out and tell you how I was able to affect change in my life. So that, Mindset U, we had the Genesis Men Summit, March of this past year. That was a journey within itself. Like I'm still in awe of what God did in that place.
Okay, hold on. Pause for a minute, because we got to talk about that one. When did you get that Was it like a vision you had years ago? Like, when did that? Because I ain't gonna even lie. Like when we took, I was like, wait a minute, he had a men's conference. It's just like it was a pop up one day on my feed, and then I think next thing you know, bam, guest come. You had another guest, and you had another guest speaker. I said, Carlton is over there working. I said, I know he got a 10-man team. I mean, y'all, if you would have saw how it was a pop-up, like, and when I say pop-up, meaning out of the blue, like, hey, men's conference, such and such date, and then it was definitely, when I say well orchestrated and well polished, because they say, you got the speakers, you knowledge the speakers. Then you had music artists. I said, okay, I liked it. How did take us to that planning process?
That's in that wilderness season, right? When I met you in July 23, no, June 23, I was working. I was a sales director for a company doing, everything's going well. Had that pull and that unction that, I could not only do this in ministry, but I could do this in the market, right? Oftentimes when I was coming, it's either this or that, right? But I can be this and I can be that, because some people that you're called to, you'll never catch them in church, but you can catch them in the streets. You can catch them outside. I went there, and right before that, I had started Mindset U. God told me to start it. I went ahead and started. We might have had like 6 dudes in the group, and I just started showing up consistently every week, preparing like it was 1,000. And through osmosis, we grow. We're about 145 deep in the group now.
How many?
145. About 145 men in the group. Now, mind you, about 30% of them show up every week. But so we meet every Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30 a.m. And I typically have anywhere between 30 and 45 men on there consistently. So that's kind of what birthed the conference. And then I understand like what my agitation was. I knew like the mistakes that I had made in life, even as a grown behind man. I knew what I knew what my Achilles heels were. I knew what my self-inflicted wounds were. Right. A lot of times we blame the devil, but we actually were playing with the weapon off safety. And then I shot myself, and then I say the devil did it. No, God told you to put the weapon on safety, and you wanted to clean it and play with it, and now you shot yourself, and you got a self-inflicted wound, and you want to blame somebody else. No, you got to blame yourself. So as I was dealing with the therapy, going to therapy, figuring out my traumas, my triggers, and things that were going on with me in life, and then God said, there's other men that got these same issues, these same problems. So I want you to build a community to help them, right? Because if we can get men to be leaders again, the family structure, everything falls back into place, right? And so, just deconstructing the myth of who God is, who He's called us to be, the things that we need to be, right? We just got to get out of this religious ideology, this legalistic lifestyle, and understand it's a kingdom relationship that God has called us to. And then when we walk into that, we'll be blessed, right? So He gave me the vision for the Genesis in 2023. I was like, ain't nobody gonna want to see that. And then I got laid off right after the conference. So we went to next level conference in that June, like early June, July 5th, 2023. I got laid off from my job because we got purchased by another company. There was not enough positions in upper management, so I got a 6 months package, and you know how that goes. Ended up being off for about 19 months. 2023, having discussions with people. And that's sometimes you got to be careful with who you share your vision, because they will abort and have you thinking that, you can't accomplish what God told you to do, causing you to be disobedience to God. Well, maybe now is not the good time. Maybe now is not the right time. You don't have a job. So 2023, I didn't do it. 2024 comes around. I was thinking about doing it again. I was praying about it. And I said, I don't know. I waited. God said, make a flyer, put the flyer out now. So I'm not the best graphic artist. I put my own flyer together, put it out there, and put a date. He gave me the date. He gave me the area, and I put the flyer out there. And I put more information to come. So as I was doing that, then God started having me downloading stuff to me. I reached out to a couple people. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Would you be interested? Oh, say less. So from that point, God started knocking the dominoes down. But the biggest hurdle for that was I had put myself out there, so I was accountable to it, not just with myself, but with the public.
Yep.
Now, mind you, I didn't have. I told you I was unemployed, and things were getting really, really tight. And me and the wife, we were having some discussions, and I'm looking for employment, things of that nature, and nothing's working out. And so I got a good friend of mine. He's like a big brother and a mentor. We met for lunch, and he said, "Hey, man, I want to ask you something." He said, "Is there anything you need? You being a man, you don't want to take, people." There's a lot I needed at that point, but I was like, I'm trust God. I said, "Well, I'm doing this conference, man. I'd like you to be a sponsor." I said, I'll put the details together and send it over to you when you get home this evening. I mean, after lunch, right? I'll send you all the information I had. Went home, got on Chat GPT, good old Chat GPT, drafted the sponsorship letters in the packages. That same time, I get a call from the venue that I had in mind, saying, "Hey, if you don't secure this venue by tomorrow, we can't guarantee that you will get the location. Somebody else is looking at it." Sent him the sponsorship package. He immediately hit me back. He's like, "Where do I send payment?" I said, "Oh, okay." So I sent him the link. He said, "I'm invested in your success. I want to see you win." Now, mind you, I was thinking he might was gonna send $500 or $300, 250. I put a package out there it was a good package, right? It was what I called the platinum package. It was a significant investment. I sent him the letter. He did the platinum sponsorship, and he sent payment that day. So I say all that to say is like when you follow God, God will never give you turn by turn navigation. Abraham, get away from your people. Just start going. Just start doing, right? Just start showing up. So I did that. I put that out. I was able to secure the venue, take care of some other things for that, and take care of some other things that I needed to take care of. And then from there, the dominoes rolled into place, and I ended up with probably 4 more sponsors. And each one of them, it was over $1,000 sponsorship.
So when you did the sponsors, when you sent your letters out, did you have like the four, like maybe a couple tiers so people
Yep, yep. So I had a bronze package, I had a gold package, and I had a platinum package. And then I had like, if you just want to donate, a ticket or something like that, I had a link just for a donation. Mostly everybody that ended up being a sponsor was either gold or platinum. So I actually was able to do the conference and break even. I was able to be a blessing to the speakers. We catered in lunch. It was a success, man, and it was not a man in the house that you did not see wiping their eyes. Right, God visited us in that place. It was powerful. Um, I had men saying, "When are you doing this again?" I was like, "Well, we'll do it again next year. We don't want to wait, so we're gonna do it again in the fall of 2025 here, and we're going to, yep, we're going to add and grow, right, and continue to build upon that, right. So sometimes the things that God is telling you to do is the vehicles for you to make impact, right, to use your gifting to make impact. See, not only can I do the conference, right, he's giving me a creative. And that's the other thing about this process I've been going through is like God has released. So I'm gonna say this: if you spend time with God, right, just getting to know who God is, he will unlock the inner genius inside of you, right? If you coming from a pure space and say, "God, I want to know you," I want to be who you called me to be.
Yes.
I need help. I don't know how to do this. Like, teach me. When you do that and and you show up each and every day intentional about that, he begins to unlock, like, this is the design of that, right? This is a design of that, right? You see the back of it, mindset you. So, merchandise. So everything that you need from God, God will put in you. It's
Yeah.
up to you to unlock it, do the work, right? You got to understand that the promise gives you vision, but the process builds your character. And in the process, that shapes you to get what the promise revealed.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look, you can have a side mastermind class teaching people how to sponsor their own events, and they'll pay you just how, because you proof.
Yeah, yeah, no,
You don't
and
think
I
I
and I
would
can and I can
look,
do that too as well, right? Yeah, and it's
look,
like,
have one and send it out to me. Once I'll be there, and some more people will be there, because a lot of people don't know that, with the whole sponsorship and how to do that. But what the key thing was, the obedience. Obedience
hmm
bursts favor. What it
yeah,
also, I appreciate you saying, and I say this all the time, you had to put a date on it. You had to
hmm
birth that thing. You had to
yeah,
give birth. And one of the things, just like when I did with my book, put a date on it. Once you put it out there in the public, you don't want to have that where you got to retract. Like,
yeah,
oh man.
because you lose
So
credibility.
that part. So to the fact that you did that, that would number favor, and just in listening, being submissive to his word, and saying when you did the flyer, and it's all coming together. Like, y'all, when I tell y'all, I know it's probably like every couple days there's another speaker and another speaker and another speaker. Like, you was consistent. Like I said, I don't know if you was doing it all by yourself in terms of your social media, you had somebody running it, but that whole consistency of showing up, I was just like,
But the
oh, this is
first go round, it was all me, right? Because I didn't have the funds to do it, and it was honestly God was downloading stuff to me. And here's the other thing people got to understand: you got to get in these places that are doing things that look like where you want to go, because it teaches you things, you see things, and as you're sitting, like even as I was sitting in the next level conference, God was saying, well, you see this now, you can. So he can give you downloads in these places because you're showing up for who he's called you to be, right? And you got to remember that this is something I want your readers, I mean the listeners, to listen to. The process is what refines you. The promise reminds you, but only one prepares you for the weight of the destiny.
oh, drop that bar again.
So the process is what refines you. His promise will serve as a reminder, but only one prepares you for the weight of the destiny. The process is what is going to prepare you for the weight of the destiny. So getting in these spaces, right? Learning from people who are doing what you want to do, right? You see what you want to become and you see somebody doing. Now you need to pay attention, take notes.
I like it.
So because that's what's going to prepare you for the weight of that destiny, because people don't know what comes with that destiny.
Right.
So they have to go to the process. People got to understand that the process, like in a fire, gold is only purified and it burns off the impurities. In a fire, wood is burnt to the ground. So if you're pure gold, that heat is going to refine you. It's going to remove anything that is going to hinder you from becoming that actual gold. But if you show up as wood, your house will burn down.
That's why you the minister and the speaker. Man, oh my gosh. And here's the thing that you did too that was so impactful. You could have had this conference. I see some people do it all the time where it's just about them, right?
Mhm.
Where it was just the conference was just you. But the fact that you said, you know what, like you said earlier on our pre-call, collaboration.
Mhm.
You had brought the platform, and to have other men to have a part, to be a part of your platform, to showcase. I don't know, some of them are speakers or trying to be more of a speaker, but then they got content. So to be able to provide a space, but also a safe space, like you said, you're directly for the men. For men, that's different, right? To have that
Mhm.
safe space where they can showcase their vulnerable moments and it's not judged. And that brotherhood is necessary, especially in today's time. It's necessary. And don't you have, is this the same group? Because I think I see somewhere on social media where You outside and y'all walking and praying? Is that
No,
something?
that's actually not my group. That's my boys Sammy and Aaron. That's their group. It's called Men's Walk and Talk.
Okay.
I'm part of that. I support that. Shout out to them. They're doing a powerful thing too. Mine's is Mindset You. Theirs is Walk and Talk. We collab
Okay.
together. They get every Sunday morning. We get up at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. We walk 2 miles, and it's just brothers getting together, doing the same thing, right? For creating these vulnerable places, these transparent places where men can just be men. They don't have to be Superman. You know what I'm saying? And I liken to being like when you are a man that God wants you to be, you're like a foundation to a home. Nobody sees the foundation. But if the foundation is shaky, you'll
Hmm.
start to see cracks aesthetically in the house. When the
Right.
foundation shifts, you'll see cracks in the walls, cracks here, issues there. And so, for us as men, if we're trying to be that firm foundation that God has called us to be, it's almost thankless to some degree. So, to be able to have these spaces where you can kind of let your hair down, so to speak, is very important. It's paramount because oftentimes we as men, we suffer in silence, and we don't want nobody suffering in silence because what happens often in isolation, if you're not strong enough, you actually become the enemy's prey. If you look at the Serengeti and you look at lions, lions typically isolate the weakest, the injured, the smallest, and it becomes the lion's prey because once it's isolated and it can't get to its help, what happens? But if you notice the jackals and the wild dogs, they travel in packs. So when the lion attacks, the pack backs them
Right.
up. So, creating those spaces where the enemy can't attack these men. But then back to the conference, that's the one thing I wanted to do, right? Is showcase other people. Like me and you have been in spaces where we are trying to speak, we're working on speaking, and like I don't have no opportunities, I don't have invitations, and people, if you're not speaking and if they don't know you already,
Yeah.
oftentimes they're not going to even give you the opportunity. And so sometimes you got to build your own table. You got to
Hello.
take the thing that God gave you and do it. People see. Here's one thing I will share with the listeners and the people that are watching. We have to understand that discipline is a form of worship, and excellence is a form of worship, because everything God does it at excellence. So I have to show up with a spirit of excellence. If you don't think so, look at Daniel, look at Caleb, and then I got to be disciplined. Right, the Spirit disciplines me to show up each and every day. So I'm going to show up to do the things that God has called me to do so he can open up these doors, open up these avenues, prepare this table. So I wanted to give people I know that were equipped and looking to get that opportunity, right. They mostly all of them have spoken different spaces. And I'm like, I want to give them an opportunity.
Right.
And so what I was able to do is I recorded the whole thing. I got their footage for them. I paid for the whole conference to be recorded. I broke up their footage and I gave it to them.
Wow. Wow. What's your age range of your group?
It's 18 to 65, 70. It don't matter, right? From
Okay.
young man to old man. So
And
I tried to
nationwide,
be
right?
yes,
And
wide range of men. So we want to catch the young men before they're broken and they make the mistakes. And then those that may be mending and those that have the vision to say, hey, I've been there and don't do this. So we try to, it's a gamut of men. I just wanted it open, for God to come in because we got a lot of old fools out there, if the truth be told, if it weren't for God, I would have been an old fool because I'd make foolish decisions, foolish choices, right? And so it's about like just being open and honest about who you are, where you've been, and not being ashamed of it, right? Because what you gonna do to me? Like, oh, so what? I made that mistake. So what? I did that. Like, but you ain't stopping
right.
nothing, right?
Right.
But it's helping somebody else because the Bible says that we're overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
Yes.
My testimony will help the right person. I say this all the time. Then I'll let you chime in. Your voice is like a Wi-Fi signal. It's a router. And so if I drive down my street, I have the passcode to my router, but I will see everybody else's device as I'm riding down the street trying to connect. But when I get to the place where I got the passcode, I'm automatically going to be able to connect to that Wi-Fi and receive what is transmitting. Your voice is the same way. God has assigned a group of people to the signal that you emit And so you have to put it out there so the people that have the passcode can connect to it and receive the download that God has given you to change their life. And you remember Pastor Hannah said it the first year we were there, right? Somebody's breakthrough is tied to your voice. So
Yep.
giving those people that opportunity to get that out there, that was important to me.
Right. Is anyone can join, like just like a nationwide group, or is this local base?
No, the group, the Mindset U is actually a platform. We have men from LA. I got men that get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning their time. Got several people. We got people in Cali. We got people in St. Louis. I'm based in Texas. We got people in South Carolina. We got people in Virginia. Got some guys in Florida.
Oh, nice.
So it's nationwide. If you're willing to get up and be a part of the community, and the only thing that I ask is that you give more than you take.
Mm,
Meaning, that you come in and I'm trying to build like almost a kingdom Wall Street mentality, like a Black Wall Street, but
okay.
on a kingdom mind, like
Yeah,
with opportunities for each other. We come in and as a conglomerate, at some point, who knows, maybe buying property, doing things that really impact and affect change. And I said, like, we should be the catalyst, right? A catalyst is a thing or an agent that speeds up the process or affects change. And as men and as a group of men, I want us to be able to effect change
I like
because
that.
we all have the same mindset. See, if you look at the Tower of Babel in the Old Testament, they were building a tower to the heavens, and God said, "I have to confuse them because they're on one mind and one accord, and if not, they will build the tower to the heavens." And then if you go to the New Testament on the day of Pentecost, what does it say? They were all in one mind, with one in one place, with one accord. So what happens when you have unity? So that's what I'm trying to build, a group of men that are unified and are focused on building like true infrastructure,
Yeah,
family, business, God, the whole 9 yards. That's the goal.
I like that. Because here's the thing: building a community is work. It's
Mm-hmm.
dedication. Is work. The fact that you said it's two days a week. Now mine is in the evening time,
Mm-hmm.
but 2 days a week at 6:30 a.m. I'm assuming Central
Yep.
Time.
Yep.
Um, that's dedication because, like you said, whether you show like there's been times when of course I'm starting out my community that I would get on my Zoom calls. It may not be but one person on there, but I'm operating like it's 200 of us. Now we're starting to get more steady traction, but a lot of people when they don't see the fruits of their labor right away, they give up and shift and pivot. Like, did God tell you to do that? Like, come on, what
No,
we doing?
he wants to see how long how are you going to show up, and if
Yeah.
you want the thing that you said you want, or do you want the thing that he showed you? You have to show up for it. So right, I started out with 5 or 6 dudes, and it was 5 or 6 dudes for a couple months, then it went to like above 10, and then it got to like maybe 18 to 20, and I was excited, and then we started hitting 25, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, right? And now people are finding out about it and they're asking, "Hey man, how can I become a part of the group?" And honestly, they're looking for us to show up, right? Because that touch point, we don't know how important that is for them in their journey, because we don't know where people at. Like one day we just had a day where we just kind of did like an old fashioned testimony service, if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
And just tell us something, and to hear these guys' story and the things they've been through, you don't know what people are battling.
Yeah.
And sometimes you building that community and you doing the thing that God has told you to do is the only thing saving their life, keeping them away from the bottle, keeping them away from the porn site, keeping them away from the hey big head text. It's the only thing. So
Yeah.
you have to show up, because if I cannot steward the small thing, the one, the three, the six, the five, the 15,
Mhm.
what makes me think that God's going to give me the million?
Yeah. Yeah.
People, we got to understand that God is not going to give us anything that we're going to mismanage,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what that is. It's the relationship, it's the opportunities, it's the money. If I'm going to mismanage it, and God knows I'm going to mismanage it, He's not going to give it to me.
Yes, that part. Um, but wow, I this Genesis conference. Oh, it's about to you were like what's that Bible verse say? Now I ain't as inclined with verses
Yeah.
like spitting them out, but I'm paraphrasing. It says when you
Right.
faithful over a few
Few
things.
things. I'll make you rule over many.
What scripture? I don't even know what number that
It's
is.
this thing is Matthew 28 and 20, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but
Yeah, I
it's
knew
in
you.
that area.
I knew you knew. But the
Somewhere
thing,
in that area.
your faithfulness though, yeah, just your faithfulness, and now you like, man, we doing coming back fall. Who's to say 1 year y'all might end up doing a retreat, a 2 day retreat somewhere?
Be honest with you, that's the goal, right? To eventually like be in Cancun for a couple of days, having a conference on a resort. Like there's so many things and so many ways that God can take this if I just stay and do the work.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see it, and the fact they said when is the next one, that goes to show you right there. You know, they need that. They like we ain't waiting another year, and you gonna just continue to just pour, pour, pour. And listen, y'all, I'm gonna have his information in the description. So if you want to just to be a part, just to sow into it, and I know he'll probably send some stuff out when it gets close to that time. But even just being a sponsor, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have the same. Well, not the I don't know, but you're gonna have packages where people can sponsor.
Yeah, definitely. We coming back with it because we wanna move to the next level and deliver more. So I got commitment from some guys that are doing some powerful things, and we want to bring them in. And I also want to be able to fairly compensate them and give them what they're worth. So we're going to continue to dig into the spiritual, but then we're going to dig into your physical,
Mm,
your physical, like your physical body, taking care of that, your health,
yeah.
your mental health. Like so, having somebody who is accredited and knowledgeable in that space, not somebody's not a talking head, like somebody that's really going to come in and impact change, and those things cost. So yeah, that's the goal, that's the aim. You know what I mean, and just to continue to build on that and to grow that, and
Mm-hmm.
people walk away. Like I got a guy walked away. He said, "Man, one of the guys, he actually did a testimonial. If you go on my page, there's a recap. He said, I felt something break off of me sitting in this session that this guy was facilitating. And that's the place I want to be. So when you come in, you're leaving free. Like whatever had you bound, whatever problems you had, you no longer have to deal with that problem when you leave. Like it's
Yeah.
gone. I can actually go and become better.
I
I'm
like
I'm
that.
I'm healed. I'm free.
Yes. Who the sun sets free?
It's free indeed. Right?
See?
And that's what we want, right? So it's
Yeah.
not about me. It's not about Carlton. It's not about me getting all the play. The play. My goal is to just get out the way and be a vessel, be a conduit, and say, "Hey, God, you got this. Do your thing."
Mm,
And that verse is Matthew 25 and 23. It says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You are faithful of a few things. I will make you rule over many." That's Matthew 25 and 23. I had to
okay.
look that up because I don't like to give out bad information.
See, y'all, I knew it. I was like, I knew you like you was close, but still, you know the numbers by heart. Well, almost there, but yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. And then so the conference, we got the conference, another one coming up in fall. When are you gonna start pushing it?
I'm securing the venue now, so I'm in discussions with the location. So it'll probably start pushing like
Okay.
August, late June, early August, September, because I'm looking at mid to late October, November. I
Okay.
mean, late October, early November. Just trying to secure the date, the venue I want, because this year, this time I want to actually have it at a hotel versus having it at a venue. So
Yeah.
we can do a little bit more to it, and I can there's some things that I've seen other people do, but just in the preparation phase. I think that it would prep the atmosphere even more. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
one thing I want to do, and yeah, that's the goal, right? Just to build community, build friendship, build partnership, and build right. My goal is I might not, like Tupac say, I might not be the person that makes the change, but I guarantee you
Come
that
on.
I will be the person that helps spark the change.
That part. Listen. Oh man. You be coming with some quotes, whether they from the Bible or from a rap verse.
But you know what? The thing is, you gotta like pay attention to like when you're taking in this information. Like I don't like trust. I rarely watch TV anymore. And when I do watch TV, I'm gonna be funny
Either.
with you. It's I watch the old school kung fu movies in the evening, and I still learn something out of that. But other than that, I am feeding this mind right, so God can give me the downloads, and I
Yeah,
can give from my overflow because we're supposed to give from our overflow. So I want to. I said this right. I want to leave so much intellectual property for my children
I like that.
that they have no choice but to succeed. I know a lot of times we focus on wanting to leave money. I want to leave them something, but also I want to leave them the tools to fish,
Okay.
to
Okay, I
teach them
like
how
that.
to fish so they
Yeah,
don't have to be dependent on what I'm leaving them.
right.
Like they can take that and increase that. My goal is for every one of my children to 10x whatever I'm doing. And the only way I can do that is by equipping them with information and knowledge. So I am consuming this knowledge so I understand it and I know it. And then they can take that if they desire. They can only thing they I can't make them do it, but they at least they can say, you know what, my dad left something
Mm-hmm.
for me to use to become the person I needed to be. It was
Yeah.
up to me to use it.
Yeah. And you're doing just that, just your whole making an impact and being the leader and setting the tone, and the coach. What message would you give to men right now who are called to lead but still sitting on the sidelines? And then don't necessarily be, let me rephrase that because I just thought about this because I know we have viewers going to watch as men and women, but definitely the men, but just anybody in general that's just they know they've been called to do something for whatever reason they still sitting on the sidelines. Maybe it's the fear, maybe it's the past guilt, they feel like the failure or whatever maybe it's the surroundings, no one's pouring back into them. So what message would you give that person?
What I would tell that person that is in that place of trying to figure out how to become that person, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to put God first, right? There's a verse, there's a king named Ahab, and Elijah prophesies to him, and Elijah said this to him. He said, how long are you going to war between two opinions? If God is God, follow him. If Baal is God, you follow him. Make up your mind who you going to serve. So
Mm-hmm.
put God first, right? Each and every day. When you wake up in the morning, ask God to get in your head before you get in your head. Ask him to lead you, guide you, teach you, and to renew your mindset.
Yeah.
I ask
Yeah.
God this each and every day. These are the first things I say after thank you for waking me up. Get in my head before I get in my head. Lead me, guide me, teach me, renew me. And then another thing I pray is I ask God to teach me to number my days so that I can gain a heart of wisdom. That's Psalms 90 and 12. Meaning show me what to do. Give me the strategy that I can follow so that I can become wise in the thing that he's called me to be. That's the first thing, right?
Wow.
And then you gotta get in spaces that look like where you want to go,
Yep.
not where you've been. People that you're with, they only see you where they met you. They don't see you as an evolved version of yourself. And you remember Pastor Keon said this at the conference in 23. If you're not careful, your circle becomes a noose. You remember
Yeah.
when he said that? So
Yes.
you got to understand, people have shown you who they are. Some of us hang around people that have shown us who they are. They've revealed, they've showed us their hand, and we still continue to put ourselves in
We'll
those
do it.
situations and wonder why we're not getting anywhere. We don't have any progress. So if these people don't, man, if you hanging around people that are doing the same thing that they were doing 10 years ago, like I don't want to be around you, bro.
That part.
I'm saying I'm better than you, but I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to elevate. I'm trying to become who God has called me to be because I don't know when my time is up.
Yeah.
Do I want to waste this opportunity? I want to be this person that when God says he calls me home, he said, man, you broke the game till it said out of order. Like you took what I gave you and you just maxed it out. So
Yeah.
getting around people that look like that, like what you're intaking, your eye gate, your ear gate, your mouth gate, watch what you're taking in. Watch what you're reading. Watch what you're hearing. Stop scrolling. Like, change up the algorithm of your mind. Change your algorithm on Instagram. Stop following all them foolish pages that only entertain you, and you spend an hour scrolling, doing nothing. Right? Change it up to people that are doing what you want to do, who are walking in the gifting that you think that you have, and who are bringing the impact and the change that you want to be. So that starts the gear, right? So we have to understand this. No, we don't control anything that goes on around us, but we control everything that goes on within us. And
Mm-hmm.
remember this, and I've heard a couple people say it. Before there was anything, there were words to create. Before there was light, God said, "Let there be light." So you use the words that you have to create who you want to become. Get you a notepad. I got this book right here. I write down everything,
Yeah.
every little thing, each day. I put the time, I put the date, how I feel, what I learned today, and then go back and review it. And before you know it, those small,
Mm-hmm.
steady inputs to the compound effect. The compound effect says small daily deposits lead to massive returns eventually. So just get up each and every day, show up for that day. Worry about that 24 ahead of you. So I do this. I say this in the God, give me my daily bread spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I just need that for today because that daily bread today is going to look different tomorrow. And in the words of the famous poet Fat Joe, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Okay.
We gonna go there,
Yes.
right? So what you were able to accomplish today is gonna take more tomorrow, and just be the catalyst, be the change that you want to become. And if something is bothering you and it just agitates you, that means that's probably the thing that God has called you to affect change in that area. Just start doing it. And the difference between me and you and those that aren't where they that haven't had the progress we have,
Right.
we got up each and every day and said, I'm going to show up.
Right. Right. I love it. So if you look back at these 18 months, did we cover all your milestones? Any other accomplishments in the last 18 months that I
But
mentioned?
I've actually been speaking. That's the other thing. Like, I've been booked to speak. So I got booked to do this thing called Fields of Faith down here. It's going to be a high school stadium.
Okay.
It's an organization, and again, that goes back to being around the right people, the community, right? So somebody in the community put my name in that room that I didn't know, and they reached out to me, and I was able to
Mm.
close that, right? I did that. I'm actually speaking at a smaller retreat in August, being in spaces, right? Again, I'm in these communities with people that are forcing me to grow. And
Ooh.
so when you get into communities that force you to grow and get you out of your comfort zone, and then you start showing up, and God lets people start to see your gifting,
Mhm.
opportunities present themselves. So somebody just booked me to come. I'm coming like a women's retreat. I'm a male speaker at a women's retreat. They asked me. I didn't bid on it. They said, "Hey, can you come and speak? I've watched you. I see what you do. So your gift will make room for you if you just get into
Yes.
places where you can cultivate that gift, right? Iron sharpens iron, and you start sharpening that gift. I mean, they just literally sent me the money for the plane ticket,
Oh,
and
you
so
traveling? Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's in Orlando.
Go ahead. Congratulations, man.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
But again, that's showing up, being in
Yes.
the spaces. So I booked that. I'm
Yes.
done some stuff in the church space as well. I did a speaking engagement for a good friend of mine for his appreciation. I will be speaking for my ex, not my ex, but my spiritual father, so to speak, that he's deceased now. But his wife, and here's the weird thing, not the weird thing, the crazy thing, that's she's actually my ex mother in law. They called me, asked me to come speak at his memorial service. I'll be doing that. So those are the milestones. I have a coaching program that I launched, and I got a couple people in that. It's called the Kingdom Accelerator. We teach some of these principles that we've learned, right? Some of these disciplines that we've fine tuned and see that work. So teaching men how to do those things as well. So those are some of the milestones that I've gotten to. But more than that, Tressa, it's about the level of contentment I have walking in God's purpose for my life. Oftentimes, we focus on building things, all the while God is focusing on building us.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's been building me, and I'm happy. I show up as Carlton, right? And
Yep.
Carlton is enough. You might not. It might be some people on here that be like, "Nah, that guy don't resonate with me," and that's fine. That's not. That means I'm not called to you, or you're not called to me.
Yeah.
But those that I know that God has called to me, they resonate and connect with me, and I know God through God. God is the one that's impacting change in these lives. And just to get that call and say, "Hey, man,
Yeah.
this changed my life. Hey, man, when you said this, I felt like you were talking directly to me." Like those are the milestones that really just set my soul on fire.
I love it. What's the Bible? What's the number? Look, I'm going to you now. What's the Bible verse says? To whom much is given, much is required. Is that a Bible verse?
That is a Bible verse, right?
Okay. I
I don't
said
have it off the top of my head, but that is a Bible verse.
okay. Because the thing is, like people want again, they want the promise, but to whom much is given, much is required. It's gonna take some things required to use the sacrifice of it all, right? And
Right.
I'm paraphrasing that scripture, but that's when I think about that, to whom much is given, much is required.
Man,
Um,
but you can think about it. If they go back and look at my story, I can tell you I've had three near death experiences, right? Out of a rolling car. And walked away from a wreck that I shouldn't have walked away. Got shot at point blank range. Lost my dad unexpectedly. Lost my baby sister unexpectedly. So it's when you're going to be like when people got to understand to get to purpose, you must experience pain. There is no way to get to your purpose without pain because the pain that you experience is the thing that God is going to use for you to help other people.
yeah,
So you can't help nobody if you don't go through something. So I say all that to say like it's a journey, and I don't envy anybody I see on a big platform or a major doing major things because I don't know the price that they paid
yeah.
to get there, right?
Oh yeah. And and y'all make sure you guys go to episode 3. We just gave y'all like his journey in his last 18 months and what he's doing. But go back to episode 3. He talks about his background, his growth journey, his resilience story. And he just gave you a little 6-second snippet of the things he's overcome. And so just to see what you doing, just to man, you go, you already know this, but you going places. And I'm so glad to call you my fam, like, brother, just to see, like, it amazes me to see people that I met at a conference 2 years ago. And, some of the ones I still stayed in contact with. And just like you said earlier, Trust, I really want to see people win. And when I see this, I'm just like, man, because we all got our journey. We all trying to grow and we all trying to elevate. And that's why I tell people, don't you compare yourself to somebody else. Don't compare your chapter 5 to chapter 10 because you don't know what people go through and what they
Mm-hmm.
did behind the scenes, right?
Yep.
So just to see your journey and just to see you doing things, man. Like I am really, really, really proud of you for real.
Thank you. And I want to tell you, I see you as well, right? I see you booking DHL. I see you booking this conference. I see you booking that conference. I see you being consistent with your podcast. So I want to affirm you, right, for showing
Thank
up
you.
as the best version of no, not the best version, the God version of Tresha, because the best version of me might be a couple steps below where God wants me to be. So I
Yes.
see you showing up as the God version of Tressa, showing up right. And we don't know what's going through. Like you've come off a grief season, you come off a wilderness season, but you showed up each and every day, and you
Yep.
allow, that you sat with that pain, you experience that pain, you begin to understand that pain, and you engage in that pain, and then
Yeah.
you learn from it, and
Yeah.
that's what propelled you into the developing into this person that you become and seeing things from a more joyous and a content space, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what you've actually taken and fueled you to
Mhm.
be able to do all that. So kudos to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, book bigger and bigger stages,
Thank you.
audiences of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, commanding those that ET, that Inky, that Jeremy money.
Oh yeah, we look. We still. I told you somehow, somewhere we're gonna share a platform one day. Be on the stage. I'm
Well, most
vision.
definitely. It's coming.
And I say this like, that whole when I look at even the journey that I've been on and just to see where I'm at, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
still evolving, I'm still growing. And when I'm learning doing this process, and I would tell anybody this that when you're going through things, like it took for me, I actually have gotten a closer relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm gonna stop saying it was an isolation season. It wasn't an isolation season. It was a separation season. God
Mm-hmm.
separated me when I thought I was just being isolated. He was equipping me, working on me, working through me and to me. But also, too, Pastor Darius Daniel said, every good door ain't a God door. So now I'm learning that just in everything that I do, whether it's a new client or opportunity, I seek him first, right? It's not about the money, even though, like, yes, that's okay. God knows he gives us the ability to produce wealth, right? And it ain't just always money wealth, the knowledge of wealth, right? So now I am being very intentional of whose platforms I'm on, who I'm connected to, who I'm bringing on my platform. Because again, at the end of the day, God, if you did not send it, return it back to sender.
And that's my prayer. I don't want to be on any stage or any platform that God hasn't ordained or predestined me to be on. Because oftentimes we have to understand that the enemy can expedite something for us, and it looks like a blessing, but it's actually not a blessing from God. It's a curse from Him.
Yeah.
And so I tell people all the time, pray, consult God about what you do.
Yeah.
Because and understand that God is never going to give you anything that's going to pull you away from Him. So if the thing is pulling you away from God, I don't want it.
Yeah. So what can everybody expect from you? Or let me just rephrase this question. What is Carlton's vision for the remainder of 2025? Well, we already know the conference is coming. What is the vision looking like in 2026? Because you're a forward thinker, you're a visionary. And when I bring you back again, we're going to be looking back and say, like, we like looking back and like, wow, won't he do it? So what does that look like to you? Do you see any books coming and things like that being birthed?
Yeah, most definitely a book about like my life, right? And tell a story of how I made it to this earth, how I dealt with the struggles and things that I dealt with, and how God, was able to bring me out and I overcame those things. Again, it's continuing to build the platform for men, giving them equipping them so that the goal of the mindset youth is to transform, empower, and equip men to become the kingdom version of themselves, right? And then that's going to probably cascade out to the general public. The thing about God is he starts you one place and then he continues to add tools to your tool belt. So I see that growing. I definitely see some impact in mentoring spaces, coaching spaces, stages, right? Within ministry and outside in the marketplace as well, right? So just continue to open myself up to be a vessel that God has called me to be. When they put best-selling author on there,
Ooh, come on.
You got to call those things to be not as though they were, right?
Yes.
Packing out a stadium with 10, 15, 20,000 men all coming into that space to glorify God and to walk out renewed, changed, and improved. So those are the things that I believe God is going to do. But the main thing for me is just showing up each and every day.
Yep.
And surrendering this mind of mine to God so He can lead me and guide me to do whatever He wants me to do. Because that's my biggest battle, is surrendering control of what I think. I tried it for 40 plus years and it didn't work out for me. But now that I've given it over to God, He's been working it out for me. And I'm just continuing to confront my demons, because what I don't confront controls me. So I want to continue to confront and so it doesn't control me and I can allow God to use me to the fullest of His ability. I told you there's a level of genius in me that I believe there's a level of genius in you. There's a level of genius in every person. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's unlocking that and doing what God wants me to do with it. That's success to me, right? Success to me is me being obedient to God's plan for my life.
Yeah, I like that. Listen, I can't wait to see what's coming up for you. And like I said, the overflow. This is your overflow season. We speak it into existence. Overflow.
Yes, we
Overflow.
receive it.
Whatever the number is you got written down, we 10x in that, okay?
Oh yeah. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but there's a goals right here. I got goals and purpose written on my board, and it says. So I'm gonna read this to you real quick. My purpose will feed my family for generations. God will multiply my current income by 3x. I am a sought after speaker who impacts millions of lives for God I am debt free. God has anointed me and called me to impact the world for his kingdom. I add massive value and impact to the world. I am the God version of myself. I am consistently booked to speak, coach, and run workshops. I'm a multimillionaire.
Come on. See, y'all, I told y'all them affirmations. Y'all better stop playing. Yes, I'm a multi-millionaire. I say it all the time. Ooh, come on. Listen, I really have enjoyed myself. And y'all make sure y'all go pick him up. Like, go follow his YouTube. I'm gonna put everything in the description, including the old episode. So I want y'all to watch that. And if you are a man out there and would like to be a part of a safe community where you're loved, supported, connections, networking, collaborations, and really truly building, right? A kingdom. But you gotta build within. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel, his pages, but make sure you join. How can somebody join? Is there
They can hit me up on IG, shoot
okay?
me a DM, and I will add them to the community. I kind of vet who comes in there because I want to
Oh,
keep it right. I don't just have it open.
I
So
like
I
that.
just got to make sure that you're about that business. And what I want to say to the gentleman too, right, is I've slayed a lot of giants, but at some point I didn't cut some of their heads off. And
Mm,
so those giants, so you look at me, I have my issues just like you. So don't think that I'm this perfect specimen and I got it all figured out. I'm taking it each every day. So don't think that you can't come into this community because you're struggling with whatever you're struggling with. You're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, right? What you're struggling with, what you're dealing with is not who you are. It's just what you struggle with.
yeah.
And so come to this community because if you could conquer it, you wouldn't need God.
Wow.
So just come to the community, fellas, grow, blossom, and hopefully we can get you pointed to purpose and understanding, who you are and why you're where you're at, right? So I just want to leave that with the fellas, but they can just shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. Any of the links, they can go to www.carlton-young.com. They can shoot me a message there as well. And if you're interested in growing, like I said, we got 145 men in there, and they look like every problem that you can think of, every issue that you
Wow.
probably had, somebody in that group has had it.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing what you're doing. And next year when I could bring you back, you're gonna be like, well, we had 550 members. I'm like, what? I hope you got some community leaders in there because whoo, that's gonna be a lot. But hey, he wouldn't put no more on you than you can bear.
But
Okay.
you know what's funny about that, Tressa? I seen this deal on today, and I did it. So I asked ChatGPT, what you know about me and what you know about my business, and how can I improve it? I'm gonna read this to you real quick, and then I'm gonna let you go. It said it gave me my strengths right, but it said to me, you are doing too much yourself. You're operating at 10x potential with 1x systems. You need to build a team now, or your growth will become your ceiling. Outsource design, automate back end system, hire help. Your time is too valuable to be buried in the weeds. So what you just said, right? I take that to heart. It's so many tools out here for us to use to improve ourselves. This ChatGPT, based off of how I use it and what I've done, has given me a clear path
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I say. It's getting bigger. And watch 550. I say 555. Five in the Bible's grace. Grace is
Yeah,
sufficient.
yeah,
That's what
I
I'm gonna
take it.
do.
I receive
Five
it.
555. Y'all better be glad I don't play the numbers no more because I would have been playing triple fives when I leave here. Let me stop. I gotta respect the minister.
No, you good. No, you ain't got. Don't change up for me. Like be yourself. Hey, tell them if I win, I'll put a seed in the church.
Right. Look, because convicted to grow coaches will do a sponsorship. Can anybody sponsor? Or does it have
Yes,
to be a
yes. You
man
can.
business?
No, you can sponsor. Anybody can sponsor.
Okay.
You definitely get a shout out, what have you. The only
Okay.
thing when we get into the nitty gritty is that just has to be a men's space where they feel
Oh
comfortable.
yeah, no, I didn't know. Wasn't talking about. I know it's all man, but I'm just saying, like, if anybody just see the impact and love that y'all get, and just say, hey, we just want to sponsor, no, of course not being
Well, no,
there,
I'll
but
take you. I'll take your money to that'll help me build it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna never say nah. You can't sponsor because you a woman. That'd be crazy. You know what I mean?
but also you can actually sponsor. Also, like when a sponsor, we can like gift somebody to come, right? Too.
Yeah, yep. You can gift. I had some people gift some tickets.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. That's good
some
to
people like
know.
here. Here's money for 2 tickets. Give it to somebody that might not be able to afford it and wants to come.
Oh yeah. Well, when you get close to that time, definitely send it over my way or share it to my community. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely, that's all about supporting. I see your vision, so absolutely send it. Look,
We'll
our
do.
granny used to say, "Closed mouths don't get fed."
That's right. I agree.
Well, thank you once again. And y'all, you know how I go when I end out life. Life is a journey. To some, life is short, but life is also priceless. And while you're here on God's green earth, you recognize who you are, step into your potential. You really got what it takes to win, but you got to believe you got what it takes to win. Know your purpose, know your why. And if you don't know it yet, guess what? Get, like he said, get around other people on the levels you're trying to go. Proximity is power. We are proof. As you can see, we are proof that proximity is power. To all my men out there, listen, this is your invitation. Your invitation that you got a chance to be a part of something that's greater. And I'm telling you, this man is doing some great things. When I tell you he's doing some great things, trust and believe he is doing some great things. And so I would love for all my men viewers and listeners who said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. And if you sick and tired of being sick and tired because you don't have nobody to count on and listen to, or even just bounce ideas with, that community is for you. So, with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for supporting me. I love y'all. Until next time. Mwah.